1 year after the red zone, Nigeria's economy has finally found its way out of recession. Data on the country's gross domestic product released today shows the economy is finally growing. Africa's largest economy shrank by 1.5% in 2016. It was its worst drop in 25 years. It's the news many Nigerians have been waiting to hear. The country is finally out of recession. In its latest data, the National Bureau of Statistics says the country's economy grew in the second quarter of 2017, expanding to 0.55% year-on-year. This technically brings an end to a nightmare that has plagued the country's economy for 5 quarters.
Basically, being out of recession is largely a technical thing, because it's just a question of the GDP growth moving from a negative territory to a positive territory. For operators in business, we look beyond the numbers. We look at the practical realities, on ground. We look at the quality of the investment environment, because this is what affects the productivity of businesses. So therefore, we'll be looking at things like our infrastructure, particularly power. We'll be looking at what is happening to our roads, what is happening to our railway system, what is happening to other major variables. And we also look at what is happening to policies, because it is policies that will determine to a large extent how investments will also perform.
Nigeria's economic recovery has been attributed to growth in oil production, agriculture, manufacturing and trade. The government had to strive to diversify the economy away from crude oil in the wake of the economic downturn.
It was helped by the realization by government that they needed to change some policies, particularly the foreign exchange regime. When we had a lot of oil money and oil prices were high, we could afford the luxury of a fixed exchange rate, which was not advisable for any economy, strong or weak. But when the weakness of the economy was revealed by the fall in oil prices, after some reluctance, the central bank reacted positively by enabling the foreign exchange regime to float and have various options, windows in the economy.
But despite this news, Nigerians are yet to feel the impact, as the cost of living is still on the rise. It appears the economic bounce back is only on paper.
The recession is not over for a large section of Nigerians, especially those below the middle income level. Their life incomes, their lifestyles have not changed. So they are effectively very much still in recession. What has only happened is that the economy as a whole has come out of recession. In other words, the economy is now growing. But for the low-income person whose salaries have not gone up, or the unemployed who has not got a job, is still very deep in recession until he or she gets a job and the low-income worker gets a significant increase in their wages. Then they begin to see the signs. But the level at which the signs of coming out of recession is mostly at the business level.
We need to see how we connect these GDP numbers to the welfare of the people. And you need the right kind of policies to make that happen. The average citizen is worried, especially now, about high cost of goods and services. They are worried about high cost of food, high cost of transportation, high cost of welfare. They are worried about issues of jobs and employment. So we need to also put in place specific policies to address these critical concerns about the welfare of the people.
Even though there are projections Nigeria's economy will grow further in 2017, experts say the country may not be fully out of the woods. It wants the government to continue with more policies to prevent a recurrence.
So we need to restructure our tax policy to ensure that we use our tax policies to encourage investment across all levels. The big investors, the small investors, particularly sectors that we need to encourage to be able to diversify the economy. And our procurement policy, I've mentioned that our fiscal policy, our trade policy is also important. trade policies about imports and exports.
One significant policy was freeing the exchange rates, allowing the exchange rate to find its level, particularly at the investment and exports window, which is close, very close to open market. So if the government did not do that, it would have been very difficult to come out of recession. So government needs to pursue that to its logical conclusion, remove the several prices of foreign exchange, because a dollar is a dollar.
Nigeria no doubt faces a daunting task ensuring the economy remains above waters. It is pinning its hopes on the growth of other sectors like agriculture and the rise in oil sector, which led to the recession in 2016. At the moment, agriculture, which contributes around 23% of GDP, has rebounded with growth of 3%, while oil prices recovered slightly with growth of 1.6% year-on-year. But despite these positive indicators, Nigeria's recovery remains fragile.